Hi there, it's at Seniormash and I'm going to be talking rugby union. And this week it's all about live stream. There I am, my AI generated logo for my Substack account. If you like what you do see from me, and if you like what you do hear from me, then please do subscribe. But more of that later. And what have I looked at in my 14th week of talking rugby union? Well, the weather. Sorry to hear Tarleton Rugby had to call their game off against Heaton, and just on social media makes you think UK during lockdown, UK in summer, UK in spring, UK in winter. But hey, remember those heady sunny days of lockdown. Quite weird, really. I didn't actually see anything on TV this week. A bit of a letdown. And I do have a subscription to Premier Sports, but other things happening. So my rugby was all about social media, and it was top draw this week. Really very enjoyable. National League Rugby goes a streaming. Oh boy, did they. Friday, Saturday, absolutely wonderful. And let's face it, people appreciate the efforts that people are going to make rugby come alive. And here's a comment from, I assume, a Rosslyn Park supporter. Very cool watching Rosslyn Park up in Manchester v Sedgley Tigers on YouTube. Thanks, Sedgley Tigers. Gotta say, social media team at Sedge, keep doing what you're doing. And what a result. For those of you that caught the Friday night streaming, I don't think Chris Hill and Joe Byrne thought this was likely. 28-0, Sedgley Park versus Rosslyn Park. Yes, so everything pointed to Rams versus Richmond on Friday night. Friday night under lights. Tremendous. I've been to a couple of games at Rams on a Friday night, and they really do it very well. Congratulations to the club. And Next Gen, who do the live streaming, or the live broadcast, should I say, very, very good operators, and really allowing the top of the league clash to come into the homes of plenty of people. From what I can see, there were over 8,500 views on YouTube. That's quite some going. Tough old game, difficult conditions, a lot to play for. Well done to both teams. And well done to Chris Hill and Joe Byrne for their excellent work on the night. Very, very good. And let's hope that clubs around National League can see the value in promoting their clubs in this way. And when you get a chance, do take a look at the broadcast, because what Next Gen are able to achieve is to amplify the voice of the Rams sponsors. Great to see. And it's not just about people watching on their computers or on their TV. There were well over 1,000 people down there watching a great game. So it may be Rams, Richmond, Rosslyn Park and Rotherham at the top of National League One. But as I just pointed out, Sedgley Park, I've got a lot to play for. And, you know, it is very, very competitive league, both at the top and at the bottom. The bottom teams have got a lot to lose. They want to play National 1 next season. 3 of them go down. Why on earth people criticise promotion and relegation is beyond me. It just creates such competitive game after game after game. And here's the shout out for the Sedge media team. Vinnie Morley doing a great job producing, directing, doing the camera work. Well done, Vinny. Keep up the good work, and I hope to catch up with you next time I'm in Sedge. And Tom, Joe, great commentary. Well done, guys. The conditions were pretty outrageous, I've got to say it, down at Sedgley when I was watching the live stream. As you can see, there's a little bit of water on the ground. Looked to be a very, very windy old time. But good to see. Honestly, really good to see. And well done, Rosslyn Park, for making that trip from the south of England in what can only be described as some of the most horrendous conditions. Elsewhere in National League Rugby, I saw this on Twitter, and yes, I subscribe to the Daily Telegraph. Exclusive former England centre who won Premiership and European Cup with Exeter on why he is heading to Chicago via Taunton of the National League. You know, when my son Max was at Bath University, Ollie Devoto was there at the same time, and I thought Ollie was an absolutely tremendous centre. And I was really very surprised when he left Bath but headed to Exeter. My own feeling was that the Exeter move was going to give him the chance to cement a team place with England. Now he finds himself, I'm guessing at the age of 30, heading off to Chicago to play Major League Rugby. And if you want to know about Major League Rugby in the United States, there is no better person to follow than Joe Harvey. Give Joe a follow on social media. He is so good on US rugby. And I'm sure he'll be following Ollie. But isn't it good to see players say, hey, the quality of the rugby that's played in National League, I can still get a competitive game. Wow. Well done, Taunton. Well done, Ollie Devoto. And Irish Rugby, I've congratulated you for the last 2 weeks. Great that you've given recognition to your ladies' teams. Really well done, Ireland. Cian Healy, hat tip, and 150 years of Irish Rugby. Something to be celebrated. I see Bill Beaumont was posting this week that he was effectively no longer the chair of World Rugby. It is somewhat an end of an era, I think, for World Rugby. I think Bill brought some old school rugby principles into the job. I'm sure there's a huge amount of politics that goes on in World Rugby. And I'm not convinced that you're always going to be able to get things right in that environment. But I think Bill's old school style probably helped to get some movement forward in the game. And I do hope that when we look back in 10 years' time, his legacy is going to be substantial. I've learned that, live streaming, it can make an impact on how people view tiers 3 and 4 rugby in the UK. Chris Hill made the point on the Friday night live game that Rams versus Richmond was the biggest domestic game of the weekend in English rugby. How right he was, and there it was. You could watch it live on YouTube. You could see 1,000 people or more brave in the elements to watch a great game. Well done, Richmond, on the win. And I gotta say, over the last 3 weeks, I've seen some tweets from various people about Tom Curry's return to the England fold after his brutal concussion. He was out cold, in my opinion. We've got to make sure we are taking concussion seriously. We've got to take head injuries seriously, and to bring Tom Curry back for the game against Japan just makes no sense to me. It was completely unnecessary, and sets the wrong scene, or creates the wrong message, I should say. So, let's keep taking head injuries seriously, and let's not allow this version that says, oh, the player wanted to play. Well, really? So the results this week that I've been looking at, well, Rams Richmond, close game. Conversion didn't really catch the wind at the end for Rams. Otherwise it would have been 7-7 with about 5 minutes to go. I thought the kicker was very unlucky given the conditions. He clearly set out for the wind to bring it in slightly, and it just went like an arrow. Rotherham, talking of kicking, apparently in horrendous conditions, managed to nail a last-minute drop kick. What happens in World Cup finals can happen in Rotherham. Well done to the guys at Rotherham. Good win against Blackheath. Glasgow v Sale. Well, it's now the Investec European Champions Cup. Have I got that right? I'm not at all clear. A lot of criticism on social media about the value of this competition now, the way in which people set up for it, the broadcast rights. Oh, crumbs. More on that at a later date, I feel. But well done, Glasgow. Good win. And Johnny Matthews didn't score a try. It was George Horn scoring a hat-trick. Well done. Nice, timely nudge for Andy Farrell and the British and Irish Lions. So well done. In the Championship, Coventry hit the social media this week to say, hey, we are ready to be promoted into the Premiership. That will have woken up some folk. It really will. And close run game against Hartpury, but I think we're going to see Coventry Rugby in the news on a weekly basis. So let's watch this space. And two of the teams in National 2 North that have been performing miracles over the last few weeks, Lymm and Sheffield RFC. Lymm headed over the Pennines. I guess it was pretty awful weather over the tops of the Pennines on Saturday, but they headed that way, and they took with them an unbeaten record and came home having suffered their first loss of the season. Congratulations, Sheffield. I guess it's for the two of you to fight it out now. Rugby has stars. Mentioned this on a few occasions, and I just wanted to highlight two. Lewis Ludlow of Gloucester Rugby speaks after receiving the first Player of the Match award of his career. Well done, Lewis. Amazing. I mean, you put in the shift every week. Really, really well done. And Kevin Sinfield. Wow. So impressed with what Kevin is doing for MND. Good to see Steve Borthwick turning out. It's something that I do congratulate BBC Breakfast on getting behind. It's a fantastic cause. Well done, Kevin Sinfield. And let's all keep supporting the cause. Came up in Rugby Memories Scotland, Lancashire versus Yorkshire. Was surprised to see that on Facebook, but there it is. And I've got to say, I love the county championship. Always have done. I posted very recently about my escapades going watching Lancashire Gloucester in the county final up at the Vale of Loon. And this picture came up and I thought, well, how can resist county rugby? Maybe the RFU need to rethink what's going on with county rugby. John Barclay, well, clearly very impressed by the Glasgow team over the weekend, and really quite prepared to call out George Horn, Rory Darge, Matt Fagerson and Gregor Hiddleston. Gregor, I don't know you, but you're competing against Johnny Matthews. Make sure you bring out the best in Johnny. We want to see more tries from Mr. Matthews. And yeah, 1,600 guests celebrated 150 years of Irish rugby over in Dublin. Great week. Very, very wild weather. To those clubs that were able to put games on, well done to you and your volunteers. To the clubs that had to travel, you know, did you need to travel? Well, you did, because you wanted to put on a show for your fans, and that's a credit to you. As ever, thanks to Talking Rugby Union and National League Rugby. Big thanks to Chris Heel, as ever. And as I say, if you like what you're hearing, you like what you're seeing, why not like it? Why not subscribe to my Substack? This will appear on Talking Rugby Union's Facebook and Talking Rugby Union's YouTube. Give it a thumbs up, give it a like. They work hard to earn your trust. Please, please, if you like what you're seeing, like what you're hearing, give it a like. Speak to you all next week.